Hello friends, if you're new, welcome to my channel. Why don't you go down and hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any episodes. For my fans and subscribers, welcome back. You know how much I appreciate you, I hope. Today's topic, Jehovah's Witnesses and their prophetic failure. Let's go! After 1975, thousands left the religion. In typical fashion, Watchtower refused to take responsibility. At the time, North suffered from brain cancer and couldn't respond. Friends, however, explained the failure as having happened because Jehovah's Witnesses expected it. He actually blamed the victims. They still had to explain the prediction that 1975 marked the end of 6,000 years of human history. But fear not, Fred Franz had a creative explanation for that too, claiming that the 6,000-year clock did not begin at Adam's creation, but instead at Eve's creation. Since we don't know when Eve was created, he argued, we don't know when to start counting. Of course, this dismissed their own publications, which claimed that Eve was created in the same year as Adam was. But let's not think about that too much. Unsurprisingly, this attitude of blaming ordinary Jehovah's Witnesses filtered down to circuit and district overseers, who placed the most emphasis on 1975. JW leadership seemed to suffer collective amnesia over the 1975 debacle. They insisted that the organization never definitively said that something would happen in that year. While technically true, it ignored the fact that the leaders and the literature strongly implied that the world would end as we now know it in that year. The rank and file were more honest, however, and inundated Brooklyn with letters asking why the end didn't come and why Watchtower wouldn't admit that they had made a mistake. Finally, in 1979, apologies were made, but in an attempt to get Jehovah's Witnesses to forget the failed prophecy, Watchtower again proclaimed that the end was near, insisting that JWs had to keep busy with the preaching work to convert more people. Because keeping busy basically makes people forget. The trend of giving congregations more freedom reversed. The organization placed the greatest emphasis on the preaching work again. Young people were strongly discouraged from pursuing a higher education. The animosity toward higher education that had already been in the organization was becoming more evident. During the early 1970s, each congregation's presiding elder had been asked to fill out a report on his circuit overseer. This practice ended in 1976. Watchtower also slowly restored pre-1972 powers to district and circuit overseers, claiming these to be the quote-unquote apostles of the organization. Rotation of elders was also slowly abolished to give congregations more stability. The organization created a post of congregational secretary in 1977, giving permanent anchor to every congregation who would work with branch offices, overseers, and headquarters. Their anti-intellectual stance became more fanatical. Young people graduating high school were increasingly pressured not to go to college and those already in college were pressured to drop out. Surprisingly, some pointed out that the society never explicitly banned university education. Part of this resulted from the fear that people would be exposed to ideas like evolution and skills such as critical thinking, but most of it had to do with the fact that the more educated people are, they tend to be more liberal, and the educated were the most outspoken critics of the religious conservatism. Their anti-intellectualism spread when Noah refused to help a sociological study of the movement in 1943. Even those who had previously published quote-unquote histories of Watchtower under their approval did not escape. Marley Cole published an approved history, but became unpopular with the leaders when he published a more accurate history. This practice of discouraging independent research stemmed from a number of reasons, probably the most important of which is that leaders had suppressed or distorted historical facts. Russell taught that 1914 would be the end of the world, but the organization now says he taught that 1914 marked the beginning of the quote-unquote last days. This strategy actually came back to bite them. By trying to extinguish independent study and questions, the leaders often alienated witnesses to the point where they left and began speaking out against the movement. However, the society's leaders seemed to be unaware of this situation and thus punished loyal professionals. This made it more difficult for Watchtower to recruit well-educated people. Today, the quote-unquote apostates have spoken out so much that many nations have opened up inquiries into the religion. Doctrine could and still can be changed at the whims of the leadership. With reaction to the 1975 prophetic failure, such behavior became even more obvious. A case where this is self-evident is in the case of divorce. Since the 19th century, the only reason for divorce, according to Watchtower, was adultery. However, to Watchtower, neither homosexual affairs nor bestiality counted as adultery in January of 1972. However, by December of 1972, they made an about-face on this policy. These arbitrary rules came from the personal opinions of those on the governing body. For instance, they came up with a bizarre rule that fornication could happen inside the marriage bonds. You might be wondering how this could happen. According to the governing body, anything other than missionary position was fornication. For years after 1973, Watchtower published not only graphic articles about fornication, but forced elders to give explicit sermons on the topic. Many became paranoid about sex, and this affected couples adversely. The Kingdom Ministry School told elders what was and was not permitted. In 1978, the society changed their stance again, and some disfellowshipped for marital fornication were reinstated or had their disfellowship annulled. Masturbation was also listed under fornication, although it was not grounds for divorce. Young people developed tremendous guilt complexes over this, and couples felt the need to describe their sex lives to elders who had no training in the matter. Another more recent example of how a governing body member's hang-ups can become etched in Watchtower law, we have Tight Pants Toni Morris. I'm not going to go very much into this. It is quite a humorous subject for both me and some ex-JWs. Lloyd Evans, aka John Cedars, does an incredible job of going through all of this tight pants phenomenon. So I will leave a link in the description to one of his videos dealing with this tight pants. Well, friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, press the subscribe button, and if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. My Twitter, Discord, email, and PayPal links are in the description, along with the source that I used for this episode. If you wish to get in contact with me, the best way is Twitter, next best is email. Also, please leave comments in the comments section. Not only do I love hearing from you, but it also triggers the YouTube algorithm. I have recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and I have all of my subscribers and fans to thank for that. So thank you so much. Keep learning and searching for truth. Here are a few videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Until next time, friends, stay safe and goodbye.